And good afternoon. Welcome to Today to Races presented by Fidelity First. I'm Stanton Salter along with Tim Tulloch, and what a big Super Saturday we have on tap for you. We'll get to all of that in just a few minutes, but first we have to recap the big Stronach 5 yesterday, that popular national wager. Once again, it started right here at Laurel Park, race 9, and the whole concept of the Stronach, there's the payout, a big one, almost $22,000 to 9 winners on the Stronach 5 yesterday. I didn't hit it, but the concept of the Stronach 5 is working because it's creating a lot of national attention on each leg of the race. Our race 9 yesterday, a big handle. I think one of the biggest handles of the day yesterday was race 9, the first leg of that Stronach 5. So, yeah, I struck out on it yesterday, but a big payout. Congratulations if you hit it. 9 winners. There it is once again. You had a couple long shot winners in the last couple legs at Gulfstream and Golden Gate. You had the Navarro heavy favorite in leg B at Gulfstream. That horse got beat, and then the Hollendorfer favored in the last leg got beat again. So Hollendorfer, he's striking out the last couple weeks with favorites in the Stronach 5. But there's a nice big payout, almost $22,000 to 9 winners yesterday in the Stronach 5.
Yeah, absolutely. And I got tripped up in leg C, no question about it. Had leg B, was covered there, got around Navarro. And then after taking a little abuse from my co-host for not using Hollendorfer in the last, and I singled on another horse. Well, if it makes you feel any better, Stan, I got beat there too. So we were both out of the Stronach 5. But it is a great bet. It's a lot of fun, and people enjoy doing it. And I simply can't wait till next week.
All right, so that was yesterday. Once again, yeah, every Friday we'll have the Stronach 5. All right, let's show you what's on tap today here at Laurel Park. A big crowd in the sports bar right now. They all turned out for the big Champions Handicapping Tournament today here at Laurel Park. Over $33,000 in prizes. It's a qualifying tournament for some of the biggest tournaments in the country. The National Handicapping Championship, the Breeders' Cup Betting Challenge, and the big one, the sports bar, looked packed. That's a big tournament. It's always well played. Good luck to all the players in the sports bar.
No, for sure. Not only is the sports bar busy, there was a lot of action going on the first floor already this morning. People getting their places at the bar. The best places to watch the races virtually anywhere on the East Coast is right here at Laurel Park. And if you're not here yet, come out and join us.
All right, so that's the, let's show you what's going on with the stakes action. This is what the handicappers in that tournament can wager on today. Laurel Park, part of the tournament, along with some other big national tracks. But here's our big stakes lineup today. 5, count them, 5 big stakes races this afternoon. It's an 11-race card. The stakes action starts race 5 with the $100,000 Harrison E. Johnson Memorial Stakes. A Hall of Famer, Billy Mott, with the favorite in that race. And I think one of the features of the day, the $100,000 private term stakes for some of the top 3-year-olds on the East Coast. It's a local prep for the Federico Tessio coming up in April. And, of course, the Tessio, a big win in your race for the Preakness Stakes. So we have a heavy favorite today in the private terms, 4-5. All eyes on Always Mining for trainer Kelly Rubley. He's looking for his 5th win in a row.
5th win in a row, and all eyes should be on Always Mining. 5th win in a row. He's won 3 stakes in a row, one going a mile in his last race in absolutely fantastic fashion. So I think he's going to be very, very tough to beat, and has a couple good works. But he'll be tough. He shows up. He's going to be tough to beat.
All right, so a big handicapping tournament, 5 stake races, nice carryover as well in the 20-cent Rainbow Pick 6. That's going to start race 6 today on the 11-race program. There's the carryover. That's a nice chunk of change. This will be well played, $17,200 and $1 for the Pick 6. This will be around $25,000 today when it's all said and done.
And throw on top of that, the Rainbow Pick 6 gets started with the starter handicap, the Marathon starter handicap, $65,000 pot going a mile and a quarter. Yeah. You don't see that very often, so we've got it all going on here today at Laurel Park, and we should get this thing started. We got a lot to go over, my friend.
Let's get right to it. Let's show you a picture of the main track. It's beautiful, beautiful weather today. We'll have a perfect, fair playing, fast track today here at Laurel Park. 50s, mostly cloudy, a little windy. That's okay. It's not that cold in the 50s. First race post time is 1:10, so let's get right to it here. Race 1 is going to feature a couple things. First of all, we'll start the rolling super high 5 here in the opener. We start with a nice carryover today. There it is, a few bucks shy of 2,600 in that rolling super high 5. That bet also features a low 15% takeout. We have it every race with 7 or more horses. Race 1 is a 7-horse field, very playable for the super high 5. They don't hit it here in race 1. That'll carry over to the second race. Every race with 7 or more, we have the super high 5. Also, race 1 kicks off the popular early pick 5 with that mandatory payout on the early pick 5, and just like the late pick 5, industry low 12% takeout. I have tickets today for both pick 5s. Let's check out my early pick 5 ticket in race 1, which is a maiden 10 3-year-old fillies. I go 4 deep using the 4, 6, 8, 10. Race 2 is a nice starter allowance going 6.5. I think that race is wide open, even though we have a heavy favorite in there. The 6, Will Munnings with McCarthy, is going to be a heavy favorite. I like the 5-10 Hut at a big price. The 7-2 Putt's going to be tough. And how about the 8, Goldman, the 10-year-old? You can never count him out. So I go 5, 6, 7, 8 there in race 2. Race 3 is a maiden 40 for 3-year-olds going 3/4. The favorite in that race going to be the 9, Padrino's Heart for Gary Capuano. But the 7, Bucktooth for Mike Trombetta, he'll be tough as well in race 3. And then race 4, it's a nice 2 other than allowance feature going 3/4. I go 2 deep there. My top pick in there is Linda Rice on the outside, the 9, Stoney Bennett. But the 6, Showalter, just ran a big race last out for Gary Capuano. Won this condition last out, so he's looking for back-to-back wins here at Laurel Park. So I use the 6, Showalter, as well. Race 5 is the first of 5 stake races. It's the Harrison E. Johnson Memorial, 100,000, 9 furlongs, 4 and up. This race 5, the Harrison Johnson anchors this early pick 5, and I single on my best bet of the day in race 5. The 4, Unbridled One, is second choice morning line, 3-1. Tim, you know I love those $8 best bet winners. I'm going to single on Unbridled One there in race 5.
No, I can't hold that against you. I have Unbridled One on top. I think it's a pretty brave single. You still got Twisted Ton for Billy Mott,
Sure.
and bonus point for Todd Pletcher, who absolutely loves Laurel Park. But I like Unbridled One. I think he is the horse to beat in today's Harrison Johnson.
Well, let's take a look here at the opener. Race 1, maiden 10,000, 3-year-old filly is going 3/4. We've had a few scratches in this race. Still 7-horse field. Very playable for that rolling super high 5. And I go with the 4 on top. Gabby V gets blinkers on. Gets the 7-pound apprentice Sam Cardona. 4 trainer Rudy Rodriguez. The debut for maiden 30 up there at the Big A, going short. Didn't go very well up there. She was wide. She was 12-1. Now a nice drop here to the maiden 10. That should wake this filly by Temple City up. You get 7 pounds off. You get blinkers on. I go with the 4, Gabby V on top.
And I can't argue with that. We saw Todd Pletcher horse come in here yesterday, coming out of the maiden 30 state bred races,
Right.
and drop in for the maiden 10 yesterday and got the job done. This one's coming out of the open 30 maidens up there in New York, and probably good enough to get it done here, even though she comes out of a pretty bad beat in her debut. A couple works since then, so I'm not going to argue with you. I went somewhere else to the 8 weekends for work for John Robb, 2 back. A nice race here on a fast track. Good enough or close enough to get the job done. Toss that last race on the mud. No good. Gets back to fast today. Perez returns for Robb. They've been hooking up and winning some races lately. So I went with the 8 weekends for work, 5-1 on the morning line.
All right, 4-8, 8-4 all day long there in race 1. Let's speed along here. Race 2 kicks off the early pick 4. It's a nice starter handicap. It's a 16,000 starter allowance, 3 and up, going 6.5 furlongs. Nice race here in the second. You have the 7 on top, so let's start there. I like the 7 as well. 2 putt. We have a video spotlight to show you of the 7-year-old son of Tail of the Cat. He's made over 150,000. Here's the race last out right here at Laurel.
Yeah, and he's about 4 or 5 out of it, and Victor Carrasco has to go out a little bit wide right here. And you see he's got to make a little bit of a sharp turn there, and then he goes out a little bit wider. Now from here to the wire, it's all the same amount of ground, but he lost a little bit of ground at the top of the stretch. This one tries tries all the way down to the wire, just gets beat at the end of the day, and just keeps on coming. He gets back to a fast track today where he's run his lifetime best 2 starts ago, an 85 Buyer speed figure. The fast track will make all the difference. A little bit cleaner trip, not as wide, could get it done for a 2-putt, and Claudio Gonzalez here today.
Yeah, he'll be awfully tough. He'll be right there. I have the 6 on top here. The 6 Will Munnings, the morning line favorite. You get McCarthy for trainer Jamie Ness, 6-year-old son of Munnings, has made over $250,000 in a sharp win last out against second-level allowance company up there at Penn National. Now, this race, granted, is going to be a little tougher than that condition up there in Grantville, PA, but he fired a big 85 Buyer up there. I think he gets a nice trip here with our leading rider, Trevor McCarthy.
Well, he certainly did, but you look down his form, and 4 races ago, he ran a 91 Buyer speed figure up there at Parks for the Open 20,000. So the races are there. Now, I agree with you. This is probably a lateral move from that 2 out of the van at Penn, but he did do it, and he did do it in pretty fine fashion with a big number. But clearly his numbers put him right in the race. He just has to transfer those numbers, Penn numbers, here to Laurel.
All right, so we both like the 6, 7, 7, 6 on top. We both like the 8 and the 5. The 8 Goldman, the 10-year-old who's made close to $400,000. He's a 4-time winner here at Laurel Park. Solid second last out behind Team Tim, going 7 furlongs for Open 25,000 claimers. He'll get a trouble-free trip on the outside. He's a 2-time winner, going 6.5 furlongs. It'll be cool to see the 10-year-old run well here.
21-time lifetime winner, almost $400,000. And you said it when you were talking about your early pick 5. You simply can't leave him out. He always shows up, whether it's good enough to win. We're not sure, but it's always good enough to be right there. And a horse like Goldman can pull out a win anytime he feels like it.
All right, we both like the 5-10 hut there, the price there for trainer Phil Schoenthal. Let's speed along here. Race 3, we're going 6 furlongs. We got to get to the stakes action. Stakes action starts in race 5 today.
Chomping at the bit today. We got to get there.
We got to get there. We're going 3/4 here in race 3. Maiden claiming $40,000 for straight 3-year-olds. The 9 is going to be awfully tough here. We have a 9-7, 7-9 on top. Padrino's hard for Gary Capp, 3-year-old son of El Padrino. Good third at this level, at this distance. Back in early February, that was coming back after having a couple months off. He was third at 7-1. The horse that was second that race came back to win. So that was a strong race. Then they tried 2 turns maiden special weight. That was a tough assignment there late February. Showed a little speed and then gave way. But we get an easier race today. We cut back to the 6 furlongs. We get Vargas aboard. This horse should get a nice come-from-behind trip, I think, on the outside.
Well, 2 big numbers in his last race. I know he got beat 17 lengths in his last race, but the winners, Hoffa's Union, was a first-time starter for Gary Capuano, and he won that race by 15 lengths. So at the end of the day, he only gets beat 2 lengths. That was a serious racehorse in that maiden-breaking score where they ran very fast, 143-3. So I like the turn back, no question about that. With Gary Capuano, he's very good with all these types of horses. I went somewhere else, the 7 Bucktooth, making his second start for Mike Trombetta, 18%. When his horses are making their second lifetime start. Good work since his last race, and he ran a nice race in his debut. Ran a solid 59 Buyer speed figure, going 5.5 furlongs. Comes back here with a nice solid work since Pimentel returns. Pimentel, Trombetta, 18% when they hook up, 24% when they hook up.
All right, so we like the same 2 on top. We also like the 2 here. The 2 is going to take a lot of attention here. Closer look. A 3-year-old by Take Charge Indy, first-time starter for trainer Graham Motion. You get the leading rider McCarthy aboard. A bunch of good flashy works up there at Fairhill. A couple bullets on the work tab. So all that looks good, and this horse will be well played. Motion shows up with these well-bred first-time starters. Now, he's normally a little bit better second time out of the box. He a little cold on the stats as far as first-time starters.
And it's not he can't win those races first time out of the box because he just doesn't do it very often. In fact, he only hits 7% first time out of the box, and this one's having to break down toward the inside. I like the horse because you never know what's going to come out of the Graham Motion barn.
Right.
So you have to use them. I use them. The rail draw first time out, a little bit up against it. Of course, there could be a superstar in Graham's barn because there always has a possibility and could come running and get the job done.
All right, let's turn the page here. Along with the 5 stake races, the undercard races are phenomenal today as well. Hats off to the racing office putting on a nice card here for our big private term Saturday. Race 4 kicks off the middle pick 4. It's a second level allowance condition, 4 and up. We're going 6 furlongs here in the 4th. And we both have the 9 on top, Stoney Bennett for Linda Rice. Caramanos had a big day yesterday. Caramanos with 3 wins yesterday, or 2 or 3, right?
2 for sure.
Okay, maybe just 2, but he had a big day, and this horse should be sharp. Cutting back to the 6 furlongs today. Last couple of tries, he was going a mile. A nice win 2 starts ago against First Level Allowance Company up there at Aqueduct. That was back in January. 95 buyer that day. Then they tried Stakes Company, and he went to the front. And that was a little too tough. Still a decent 86 buyer. I like to cut back. The last time he went 6 furlongs, he won by 6 against New York Bred Allowance Company with a big 93 buyer. That was last November.
And
so
that's absolutely right. I mean, when you go back to his sprint races, they're really good races. Linda Rice, 27% when she takes one from a route to a sprint. And those last 2 races going a mile, they were good, strong efforts, including that race in that state bred stake where he got beat 7 lengths. But he gets what he wants. He gets back to sprinting here. Nice outside draw for Caramanos, Linda Rice, 29% when they hook up.
All right, so we both have Stoney Bennett on top. I have the 6 in my exact. I don't have the 4. The 4 here, working on a dream. Second off the big win against First Level Allowance Company. It was first time blinkers coming off about a 6-week freshening for Trez Abbott. You get McCarthy back aboard. Yeah, I didn't use the 4, but that was a nice win last out.
It was a big win last out. Got the job done by a length. Ran a good, strong number. Now he comes second off a little bit of a layoff. I like the fact that Trevor McCarthy returns 1-for-1 here at Laurel Park. So I'll take a little shot with working on a dream, who is 10-1 on the morning line.
All right, and Showalter had a big win last out at this level in the mud. That was his second race off a pretty lengthy layoff, so he's in good form. Now his 3rd race back. Cardona, the bug boy, will ride, so he gets 7 pounds off. Gary Capuano with a nice win yesterday. I think the 6 Showalter live here in race 4.
Yeah, Showalter's my Forrest Gump horse. He's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. And what you got in his last race over a muddy track was the real Showalter. He fired in 87 and got the job done at this 2 other than level. Now he's going to have to run back to that on a fast track, and his recent fast track races simply haven't been as good. But if he keeps his form going in that direction, you know this horse has talent. He just has spotty talent.
All right, so nice second level allowance race to kick off that middle pick 4 in race 4. Let's turn the page. The stakes action starts in race 5, the first of 5 stake races on the afternoon. It's the $100,000 Harrison E. Johnson Memorial Stakes, going for 4 and up, going a mile and an 1/8 here in the 5th race. And when neither one of us pick the 5-2 morning line favorite on top, Twisted Tom for the Hall of Famer Billy Mott. He's a perfect 2 for 2. He won the private terms in the Tessio as a 3-year-old back in 2017. So we both pick against the one Twisted Tom. A lot of lines in his recent form. He's been very lightly raced. That's what kind of gave me a little concern about him. We both go with the 4 on top. Unbridled Juan. Let's show you the video spotlight we have of his last race back in February in the John Campbell. And here he is, the bigger looking gray, a 7-year-old homebred for Adena Springs and Stronach Stable and trainer Jose Corrales. And he fights his way through traffic on the inside here. He's going to get to the front turner for home, and he runs a big race. It just came up maybe a little short. He had to overcome a little traffic here, though.
Yeah, he had to steady just ever so slightly at the 3/8 pole and then had to hit the gas again. I think Alex Citron would have liked to have hit the gas right from the 3/8 pole, and he could have gotten the jump on these closers, including the eventual winners and competitor today, way out there on the outside. Bonus points. Now, bonus points gets the absolute perfect trick for bonus points. Yes, he was 6 wide, but Fergal Lynch kept him as tight as he could around the turn, kept him close, and saves the best for last. I think Unbridled Juan gets the jump today on bonus points and can turn it around. I thought that was a pretty nice race, but just that little bit of steady was enough, I think, to mess it up for Unbridled Juan. 2 good works, 2 big works since that last start. So I'm with you. I like Unbridled Juan on top in the Harrison Johnson.
All right, he's my best bet of the day, and we'll get a decent price on him. Let's talk about the morning line favorite, the one Twisted Tom. Nick Juarez in town. He comes up from Gulfstream to ride this 5-year-old for the Hall of Famer Billy Mott. Chad Brown had the horse when he won here as a 3-year-old. Mott's had him the last 2 starts. A big second with a 97 buyer. That was a lifetime best in the mud back in late December. And then he needed another break, and he came back beaten favored last out against New York breds. This is a very lightly raced 5-year-old. A lot of lines in his form, so that has to give you a little red flag, I think.
Well, certainly, but he does come out of Billy Mott's barn, who I consider one of the best horsemen in America, and the horse has been running good races with big, solid numbers. However, he hasn't run in open company since 2017 when he ran in the Belmont Stakes. He's been running against stakes companies, state-bred stakes, and doing okay. But his last 2 starts were both in short fields, 6-horse fields, and he didn't win either one of them. One of them, he was a 2-1 favorite when he got beat a length and a half in his last start. Now he's second off a layoff. It's Billy Mott. The horse is 7 for 14 lifetime. He's got a great draw down there toward the rail for Nick Juarez, but I'm going to go against him. I just think there might be, when we get into it's deeper water for him here today. There's no question about it coming out of those state-bred races, but you have to respect the connections. I use them, just not on top.
We both have the 3 bonus points in our exact. A nice big win last out in the Campbell. You saw the video there, and this horse a 4-time winner at Laurel Park. He needs a little bit of a fast setup in front of him to set it up for this closer, but Fergal Lynch rides him well for Pletcher. Pletcher had a win here at Laurel Park yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, Fergal fits this one perfectly. Fergal's figured out how you ride this horse, and you get to the wire late. If you get there too soon, he'll hang on you. In every one of his races, you will see he doesn't win by much more than a length. He gets there late. Like I said, in his last start, a near perfect ride. Even though he was 6 wide at the top of the stretch, it was a tight 6 because Fergal was pushing them all down and saving as much ground as he could. Asked him in the end, got the job done.
All right, so a nice addition of the Harrison E. Johnson this year. That's race 5. Let's get a quick commercial break. When we come back, the Rainbow Pick 6 action with that carryover over 17,000 today. That starts in race 6. Tim, you have a ticket for it. We'll check it out right after this.
Whether you're at home or at the track, have a stake in the race when you bet with ExpressBet. Sign up for an ExpressBet online betting account and receive up to a $500 sign-up bonus.
All right, welcome back. Now, don't sleep on the Rainbow Pick 6 today. It starts in race 6 on our big 11-race program. Nice carryover today. There it is, 17,200 and a buck. Tim, you have a ticket for it. This is going to be well played today. Let's check out your ticket, see how you played it.
A nice affordable ticket, $43.20. A couple singles on there, but I go 4 deep in the 6th race. First part of the Rainbow Pick 6 using the 1, 3, 4, and 8. Race 7, I use the 7 and 8. Race 8, I single on your 4 to 5 favorite, Always Mining. He's going to be very tough in the private terms. Race 9, one of my favorite horses on the grounds. I single on the 6, Anna's Bandit. In the 10th, I go 3 deep using the 2, 3, 5. And in the 11th, that maiden 10, I just went all. There should be a clear-cut winner there with Buster's brother, but you never know with that maiden 10. I'm going to keep myself covered, $43.20. Good luck if you play along.
You know, I'm always a big fan of the all button and those maiden 10s. Yeah, the heavy favorite Buster's brother in the finale. He was the beaten favorite at 6-5 last out at the same level. So he's a suspect favorite for sure.
For sure.
All right, here we go. Race 6. This is a nice 16,000 starter handicap going a big distance here, 1.25 miles.
Old school.
Old school classic distance here in race 6, and we both go with the well-bred 5-year-old by Awesome Again out of a Malibu Moon mare. Solid breeding here for the 1 Bobby G, and looks like trainer Jose Corrales snagged a good one here for 5,000. Was coming from New York, dropped to the nickel 2 life, and Corrales, he's trained a bunch of Awesome Again horses for Stronach Stable. He claimed them that day, and a big win for Bobby G in that nickel 2 life back in February. Won by 13.5 with a 71 buyer. Jose stepped him right up to that starter lounge, 3 life. A big win that day with an 84 buyer. Looks like this horse can run all day. We both have the one Bobby G on top.
For sure. And then for toppers, he picks up Trevor McCarthy today on Bobby G for Jose Corrales, who hits at 22% with his horses that have won their last start. And this horse absolutely ran a huge race in his last race. It doesn't look like the distance of 1.25 miles is going to make any difference to this one by Awesome again out of Malibu Moon Mare. I like Bobby G here. You like Bobby G here. 8-1 on the morning line.
Yeah.
We're giving away a price.
Yeah, we're going to get a nice price here on the one Bobby G. I use a 10 in my exacta. Whirlin' Curlin's been in great form recently for trainer Rudy Sanchez Solomon. Angel Cruz will ride his horse 1. Beat up on some of these same horses he faces once again today. He won this race last out. That was going 9 furlongs. He's by Curlin out of a Stormcat mare. He should like the 1.25 miles today as well.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned about the 1.25 miles for Whirlin' Curlin. Not so much from the breeding aspect, but he's shown some races where he starts to get a little bit late, including his last race. Now, I understand that it was on the mud. He got the job done, but he was giving up ground toward the end, and a couple other races, even races that he won, giving up ground toward the end. So I'm a little concerned about the 1.25 miles for Whirlin' Curlin. I stayed away from him today, but I'm not going to talk anybody off of him.
All right, you go with the 3. Blame the kids in your exacta. Weston Hamilton on this horse for Kieran McGee. He was 4th against some of these Whirlin' Curlin, Charge, and Storm Birdie's Honor. They're all coming out of the same race.
All coming out of the same race, but I think this is one who can get the 1.25 miles without too much issue. His last race was a decent race, and I understand he ran behind Whirlin' Curlin, but 4 of his last 5 races have been good efforts. The last right at this level where he got beat 2 lengths. A nice work since that last race for Kieran McGee. Weston Hamilton, 81 buyer speed figure this horse ran last time, 83 the time before. Good enough here.
All right, so let's try to get the one Bobby G home there at 8-1 with McCarthy aboard. Back to the stakes action here in race 7. Still 4 more stakes to show you in race 7. The Beyond the Wire 100,000 3-year-old filly is going a flat mile. We kick off the late pick 5 here in race 7. No carryover. They hit it yesterday. But as always, that industry low, 12% takeout. Let's check out my ticket real quick. Another $32 ticket for the late pick 5. You can check out all of our tickets on the laurelpark.com website underneath the handicapping section. Race 7, the Beyond the Wire. I go 4 deep here. I think it's wide open. I used to 1, 2, 7, 8. Race 8 to private terms. Tim, just like you, I single on the favorite there. The 3, Always Mining, looking to make it 5 in a row here at Laurel Park for trainer Kelly Rubley and jockey Daniel Centeno. So I single on Always Mining. Race 9, the Conniver. I go with my price play of the days in there. The 4, Enchanted Ghost at 4-1. And I also like the 10 in there, SW Briar Rose. Race 10, the Not for Love. The 5, Lakai, my top pick. But the 3, Rockin' On By. You know, he always makes things interesting in the final strides. He'll be coming late with Victor Carrasco aboard for Claudio Gonzalez in race 11. That's a maiden 10. You had the right idea. Hit the all button there. Yeah, Creepy the Crab. He's live there at 8-1. The one horse there. My man Phil Janak, he's in town. Creepy's his favorite horse. Maybe this could be the day for Creepy the Crab.
In fact, I think Phil Janak and Dave Joseph are going to get in Creepy Crab. If he wins, they're getting in the picture.
There's going to be a press release on Creepy.
There could be.
All right, so I'm 4 deep there in the finale. All right, let's take a look here. Race 7, the Beyond the Wire, top 3-year-old fillies going a flat mile here. I have the 7, Lacitas, on top. You like the 7 as well, so let's start right there. Video spotlight of this filly. She's a Maryland-bred 3-year-old filly by Seville, a homebred here for Manfuso, Voss, and Harrison. Here's the win last out, stepping up from maiden special weight in the stakes company. She was 9-1, second time blinkers. She's undefeated with blinkers. Man, she put the hammer down here. She went wire to wire, 22-4 for the 7 panels. Big good looking win here.
Big good looking win. And when she put the pedal down, as you mentioned, she showed a turn of foot. That was the first time she got on a fast track, and the fast track made all the difference. She had run some good races while breaking her maiden, both over tracks with moisture. Got a fast track last time. Absolutely dusted them. No question about it. And a fast time. 2 big works since that last start. Big works for Katie Voss. Tends not to work her horses that fast. 2 big works here. She could be very, very tough to beat. And with that said, I try to beat her.
All right, our Super Freak's a nice filly. Trainer Jamie Ness, he's been high on this filly. I remember ever since that allowance win last October, I interviewed him after that win, and he likes this filly a lot. She's by Mineshaft out of a Giants Causeway mare. Now she's stretching out to a mile today, and you're thinking she's going to love that.
I think she's going to love that with her breeding Mineshaft, as you mentioned, out of a Giants Causeway mare. I think she's going to get today what she really wants, a route of ground. She's been on the board in her last 3 starts and sprint stakes. She's not quite fast enough to keep up, and then she can't carry that speed to do any damage in the end. Now, the pace scenario will change today. Everything will be a little bit slower early. She'll be in a better spot early. She got that great outside draw under Angel Suarez. Nice big work, 3/4 of a mile and 15 and change. Ness is going to make sure she gets the distance today. I like our Super Freak, 5-1 on the morning line, and my price play of the day.
All right, so the 7-8, they're going to be tough. We have them both on top, just in a different order. We both like the 2 as well here. It just hit the wire. Bernardini, 3-year-old filly here for Kira McLaughlin. Gets Trevor McCarthy to ride. A nice maiden special weight win back in January at Gulfstream, going 7 furlongs. You have to, the low buyer speed figure, big step up the stakes company here, but it's Kira McLaughlin showing up. It's a Bernardini filly, and she attracts McCarthy.
No, that's exactly it. You have to respect the connections. If Kieran's willing to go from a maiden to the stake, he must feel like she's capable of doing it, and you're getting Trevor McCarthy. Numbers a little soft, but if she ran a 67 first time out, if she come back to that a little bit better, good enough. Some good work since that last start.
Well, let's turn the page here. You like the late pick 4 in race 8. This is a lot of national attention on race 8 because it features some of the top 3-year-olds on the East Coast here in race 8. The private terms for $100,000 going a mile and a 16th. We kick off the late pick 4. Tim, you have a ticket. Let's check it out.
I do. A nice $27 ticket, a little bit more. Single on, always mining in the 8th, the 3. I go 2 deep in the 9th using the 6 and 10, 3 deep in the 10th using the 2, 3, 5, and I hit the all button again in the 11th. $27 ticket in the late pick 4. Good luck.
All right, let's check out the private terms here. The 4-5 favorite to 3, Always Mining, a 3-year-old son of Stay Thirsty, a Maryland bred for Runnymede Racing, and Kelly Rubley. This horse it started with Laura Wallers, and the horse broke its maiden here at Laurel Park, and then went to the Eddie Graham barn. No good there. Then to Kelly Rubley back in September. They tried to turf in the Laurel Futurity. He ran okay that day against some tough customers in the Futurity. But then they went to the main track against Allowance Company late October, and he galloped that day by 10, going a mile. He beat up on our Brain Trust, who came back to run well up in New York when Always Mining beat him in the Maryland Juvenile Futurity. And then he finished off his 2-year-old campaign with a big win in the Heft Stakes. He beat Win 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 in there, who would come back to win. And Win 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 was just recently 3rd in the Tampa Bay Derby. And they freshened him up a little bit. They gave him about 6 weeks off. He came back with his 3-year-old debut mid-February, going a mile. Boom, right to the front with Centennial aboard. And it was no question about it. He crushed him by 4 1/4, 87 buyer. He's been working well up there at Fairhill since. Centennial back aboard here. There's some other speed in the race. It's his first time around 2 turns, so a couple, but it's that same test for the other ones in here as well. And Always Mining just simply has a better foundation than anybody in this
Sure.
race.
And do we have a video Always Mining here?
Let's show you. Let's show you the race from the Miracle Wood here. Here he is turning for home, and plenty left in the tank here for Centennial.
Well, this is what was so impressive. He went right to the gate, right to the front, right out of the gate, led all the way around there. And when Centennial called upon him, he just stepped away from these horses. This was a good-looking win and a good time, 1:35-1 for this 1-turn mile. And he just kind of keeps going. He's all business from here on in, ears flat back, and then he just takes a deep breath. Said, "That was easy, boys. Let's move on." I think the mile and 16th should pose no problem for him whatsoever. I think he even gets an easier lead today. Gallops around there, gate to wire. I just think that's what's going to happen. Great draw, nice numbers, 2 good works, and a horse who's in really good form.
And Kelly Rubley says he's a classy horse to train in the morning, and that class is transferring to the afternoon. We caught up with Kelly Rubley yesterday. She had a horse in the last race. She was nice enough to hang around after the last race and gave us a couple minutes. Here's what Rubley had to say about Always Mining. All right, Kelly, let's talk about the big horse. How cool has it been to see him develop into the horse he is now? And when you first got him, did you think he might be something special like this?
Well, we really liked him when we first came in, but we didn't know he had quite this much horse. He's a very fun horse to watch train. Everything is just very easy for him. It's pretty much a matter of containing him and keeping him out of trouble. But he's a happy horse, so it's a lot of fun to have around.
And you find horses like that have a little class in the morning. Do you find that kind of translates to the afternoon?
It's interesting. The first time I walked him over to the paddock, actually for his allowance race, so it was the second time, I thought, oh my God, is he alive? Because he's just so calm and quiet. And, once you throw the jock up, he does a little hop. And so, yes, I think the class does carry through, and that helps him be such a nice horse.
All right, and what kind of trip would you ideally like to see him get in the private terms?
Well, it's our first time 2 turns, so I think we have to, it's a bit up to Danny at this point, see how we break and kind of play it by ear from there. There's some speed in this race, so it'll be a true test for him.
Okay, so there's Rubley, and real quick, your thoughts on horses that are classy in the morning. A lot of times you find those horses, they know what to do in the afternoon.
Absolutely, it makes all the difference. A horse that is within himself and confident and quiet. Those are the best horses. They don't take anything out of themselves. They save it for the racetrack, for the real deal, and those are the best horses. Now you'll find a horse here and there who's a little uppity and runs well, but the best ones I've ever had were all class, quiet, walked to the paddock flat-footed, then did their job.
All right, so you heard Ruby talking about the trip she'd like to see, and she's going to leave most of it up to Centeno, who's a top rider. He's been riding down at Tampa this winter, but Centeno has been a leading rider here in Maryland. He comes back up here for turf season. He'll be back up here soon. There's some other speed in this race. It's the first time around 2 turns. Dixie Draw, the 2 has speed. The 4 Jovia, who's 7-2, that horse has speed. The other Rubley runner in here, the 6 Red Gum, with a little early speed. So it'll be an interesting run into that first turn. But you have to figure. We saw the video there. I mean, this horse, he's the real deal, I think. And he doesn't have to have the front. What do you think he's going to do?
I think he's going to see what Dixie Draw does. Now, I think it would be a mistake for Dixie Draw to try to run with Always Mining. When you look at the internal fractions of Dixie Draw's last race, 48 and change, the big horse, Always Mining, went 47, 111. This one went 48, 113. So if he tries to take that horse on early, he might find himself out the back door by the end. Now, if he wants to, I think Danny will just lay off of him and say, dude, go ahead, because I'm going to call upon this horse and you're going to be left in the dust. Do what you want.
Right, and the 4 Jovia, that horse might show some early speed, but and they were asking me, Dave Johnson and Bill Finley were asking me about this horse earlier this morning. He's a well-bred Shanghai Bobby for Greg Sacco. Big impressive win last July. That was his only race as a 2-year-old. Came back as a 3-year-old February in the Jimmy Winkfield. Big second up there behind Hakal, who would come back to win the Gotham. But, man, this is a big test. It's only his 3rd race, 2nd race as a 2-year-old, stretching out to 2 turns, and you got to go against a monster like Always Mining. So I think Nick Juarez is going to be worried about getting in an early pace battle with the favorite.
Well, he very well could be, but I think Always Mining is a type of horse who's very rideable,
right.
And Daniel will be able to do whatever he feels like.
All right, well, a closer in the race is the 1 Tybo, who was 3rd last out in the Miracle Wood behind Always Mining. He's trained by our leading trainer, Claudio Gonzalez. He's by Kitten's Joy. The rider on the 1 Tybo, it's going to be Kevin Gomez. So if there is a fast early pace in the private terms, there are some formidable closers in this race, and the 1 Tybo should get a nice ground-saving trip.
He sure could, and it was strong in his last effort. That wasn't a bad race at all behind Always Mining. Claudio Gonzalez, 24% with his route horses, and look at those 2 works since that last race in the Miracle Wood. Halves in 47 flat, 47 and 2. Gonzalez got this one tight.
All right, so we both have a 3-1 exacta here. The 4 Jovia, 7-2. I used the horse in my top 3. I don't blame you for tossing the horse altogether, though.
I don't toss him. I mean, I respect him. I liked other horses in this spot a little bit better. It's a big question, stretching out. Second time off the layoff, and really particularly ran a big number. It didn't run particularly fast, 125 and 1 up there at Aqueduct.
All right, so a nice addition of the private terms this year. They all have to beat the favorite Always Mining. He's been looking good, and I'm rooting on him here. He's my top pick. Let's turn the page. Still 2 more stake races to talk about here. Plenty of time. We can do it. Race 9 kicks off the final pick 3. It's the conniver for Maryland-bred, Maryland-sired filly mares 4 and up. We're going 7 furlongs here in race 9. My price play of the day here. Maybe we'll get like 4 or 5 to 1. I'll take it on the 4 Enchanted Ghost. Let's show you what she did last out against Stakes Company back in February. Here's the video spotlight of Enchanted Ghost turning for home. Now they went a mile and a 16th this day in the mud. Pretty quick time, 44 and 4 for the mile and a 16th. Got an 85 buyer speed figure with this win. It was a gutsy win. This 4-year-old filly, she's by Ghost Zapper for Men's Grill Racing and Hammy Smith. I think she's really peaking right now as a lifetime best last out. You saw there in the Maryland Racing Media Stakes. Now she's a little cutback to the 7 furlongs today. I love that. She's 1 for 1 going 7 furlongs. She won the wide country as a 3-year-old filly last year going 7 furlongs. So Toledo back aboard for Hammy Smith. I love the 4 Enchanted Ghost today.
I like her, and I use her at the bottom of my ticket, but that was in the mud routing. Now she turns back to the 7/8 of a mile. Her best 2 lifetime races have been on off track. She's going to get a fast track today. And when I look at her sprint races, I'm just not so sure she's fast enough against a couple of these others. I think she'll hit the board for sure. She'll be probably going to get outrun and coming a little late. But she's not going to get mud today. And that's what she got last time, so right. I think it makes a difference.
All right, well, you go with the 6 on top here. I like this 5-year-old mare by Great Notion, Anna's Bandit for Jerry Robb. She's a 6-time winner here at Laurel Park. She's coming off a little layoff today, but the works look pretty good.
Yeah, earner of $340,000, and this one is as honest as the day is long. You can't find a bad race on her form. The worst race you can find was going a mile, which she doesn't want, in the mud, which she doesn't absolutely love, but will run on it sprinting. Other than that, all good races, even though a couple tries on the turf. Comes in here with some big works, including a nice work on March 8th, a minute and a little bit of change here at Laurel Park. She's a trier. She shows up every single time she comes over here. John Robb, 24% with horses who have won their last start.
Yeah, I like her. I respect her. She loves 7 furlongs, 2 wins, 3/3 from 5 starts, going 7/8. She's made over 100,000 going 7 furlongs. So tough spot coming off the layoff. I like her. I just pick a few fillies on top of her. The 10 I use in my exact. That's S.W. Briar Rose. This will be the first time she's going 7 furlongs today. I think this 5-year-old mare is going to love 7 furlongs. She's a closing sprinter. She's won, 4 of her last 5. She hasn't been worse than second since last July. So to make that since September of 2017. This is an honest, trying 5-year-old mare for trainer George Albright. Jacqueline Davis rides her well. She's a 2-time winner here at Laurel Park. I think the closer here, S.W. Briar Rose, is going to love 7 furlongs today.
Well, that's where we're gonna disagree, because I think the 7 furlongs is going to do S.W. Briar Rose. And when you look at her 3/4 mile races, you see her getting late in every one of those races. And she did win going 3/4 mile this past year, but that was in a $16,000 claiming race. She's a nice mare, don't get me wrong. I just think 7/8 a mile. It's an elongated sprint. Sometimes horses who go 5.5, 3/4, okay, can't get the 7/8. I think she might be one of them.
All right, so I like the 10. We both like the 11. No Picnic here for trainer Mariah Montoya. Daniel Centeno will ride this mare by Include. First off the claim here for the new connections, and she's a 4-time winner going 7 furlongs.
Well, and that's an attraction. She knows how to run 7/8 of a mile, and she shows a big 84 buyer speed figure there while doing it. Good, strong numbers over her last 4 or 5 races. She's a winner of 3 of her last 4. Steps up here a little bit, but those races were 2 other than here at Laurel Park, where she got the job done last November. So close enough for No Picnic.
All right, so nice edition of the Conniver. Still one more stake race to get to. Race 10, the Not for Love for Maryland-bred, Maryland-sired, 4 and up, going 6 furlongs here. And we both have the 5 Lakai on top. Let's show you what he did last out in the Grade 3. General George back in mid-February, coming into this race after having a little time off. A big third against Grade 3 company.
This was a big third, because Uncontested wins this race. You see him on the lead right here, but they were not hanging around. 121 1 flat for the 7/8 of a mile. Lakai, he hangs in there. He hangs in there tough. You see him right there, the 7 horse. He runs third, runs a 95 Beyer speed figure. In his last 4 races, he has run 4 consecutive lifetime best races, not numbers-wise going up and down, but those are his best races of his life. I think he continues that today, a work sense, and I think he's at the end of the day, he is the class of the field, 7-time winner of $380,000, and he's going to be I think he'll be very, very tough here today.
Yeah, absolutely, and he gets the benefit of an outside draw. Caramanos will get a dream trip on him. Caramanos' big day yesterday. The Del Davico barn, they continue to roll. They had another win yesterday. Lakai looks awfully tough here. We have a cold 5-3-2 on top. You know, rocking on by, he'll be coming late. And if Lewisfield, the 2, if he's ready to go off the layoff, he'll be tough for run.
Yeah, you can't knock Lewisfield. He's coming off a little bit of layoff. Did tail off at the end of the year last year. Ran behind Lakai and rocking on by. What about rocking on by? I think he's better at 3/4 of a mile than he is at 7/8. That's what he gets here today. He comes in here with some sharp works, including a nice half, March 8th, 47 and change for Claudio Gonzalez. Victor Carrasco rides.
All right. Nice edition of the Not for Love. Race 10 to kick off the late daily double. One more race, a big 11-race card for you this afternoon here in March. Race 11, a wide open maiden, 10,000, 3 and up, going 5.5 furlongs. We both chalk it up here with a 3-5 Buster's brother.
What are you going to do?
Beaten 6-5, favored last out, and he's going to be 3-5, 2-5 today. But we're cutting back from 6 furlongs to 5.5. That might make all the difference.
Well, it could make all the difference for the one, Creepy the Crab.
Yeah.
It could be Creepy the Crab's day. He's only 0 for 9 going 5.5 furlongs, but he ran a pretty decent race in his last start. Look, this race is all over the board. The 4 should win the race, Buster's brother. Absolutely should win the race, but he should have won the race before and the race before, so we'll have to see what happens. Go as deep if you use on your Rainbow Pick 6 or anything you do with this race. But we're about out of time, my friend.
Out of time. Cold 4-5-1-3 there in the finale. All right, that's it. Good luck to all the tournament players there in the sports bar. Good luck to everybody today. We're out of time. We'll be back on for the first race. Dave Rodman coming up next with today's scratches and changes. Good luck.